doing a good job.
It's just the food. Just needs me to be here to talk nice to it and tell it it's pretty. Come on now, work with me. Piece of shit. Sorry, I'm supposed to be nice to you. I'm a food stylist. Consider me a makeup artist for food. I take boring, everyday, average food and make it look amazing. Guys, I love the movie Chef. It's one of my favorite movies of all time, and most importantly, the grilled cheese from the movie Chef is what we're gonna do today. But first, have you subscribed to Food Stylist Versus? Are you notified on YouTube when there is a new episode? And if you're not, you should be. We're making new episodes. Keep up to date. Come on, what are you doing? For a grilled cheese that I was styling for a photo set, I would just use good old-fashioned white bread. And dun-dun-dun-dun, you guessed it, singles in the cellophane wrap. It melts like crazy, stays melty for a long time. Yeah, it's awesome. It's an awesome grilled cheese product. We grew up eating this stuff, right? You just throw the cellophane wrapper at your brother or sister and make them freak out. It's completely different than the grilled cheese we're gonna make today, which is made with real cheddar, real Parmesan, Gruyere, and sourdough bread. Amazing ingredients to make a delicious grilled cheese that looks as awesome as it tastes. In the movie, he has a super cool flat top griddle in his like shabby apartment, which is just amazing. I love it. We don't have anything like that here necessarily, so we're just going with the good old-fashioned electric griddle, non-stick. Obviously, if you're at home, you're making a grilled cheese in cast iron or a non-stick pan, or maybe you're fancy and you have a gas griddle in your house too, and I'm super jealous. So I have my little meased out stack of cheese for my chef grilled cheese. I mean, it's a pretty hefty amount of cheese, but we're going for like a pretty serious grilled cheese here. And then 4 slices of just the good old fashioned processed American cheese for our OG grilled cheese, just to do a side-by-side comparison, because why not? Obviously the biggest thing when making grilled cheese at home or like in a professional scenario is the regulation of your temperature on your grill. That's one thing that was really awesome in the movie. It's just this beautiful dance almost of him buttering the bread and putting it on the grill and regulating the temperature. So I'm gonna start with just my classic white bread. My butter is at room temperature. There is also a whole like mayonnaise versus butter debate. And I'm not talking about mayonnaise inside of the sandwich. I'm talking about mayonnaise on the outside of the bread to help toast the bread. If you have an opinion on that, you should comment below and let me know. I just go with good old-fashioned butter. I think it gives the bread a beautiful color, and I feel like mayonnaise can be a little greasy, which obviously can be a good thing when you're making a grilled cheese, but the cheese is already kind of greasy. So we're just gonna go with 1 fat today on the bread, and then more in the middle. I'm kind of toggling between like 350 and 400. I love sourdough bread. I love toasted sourdough bread. It's so delicious. It creates such a beautiful crust. And Roy Choi, the actual chef behind the movie Chef, talks about this grilled cheese being like just a flavor sort of explosion from like beginning to end, with the tanginess of the sourdough and then the creaminess of the cheese and all the other textures you get. It's beautiful, it's golden. Look at all that. You can see like all the texture on the bread. Our OG grilled cheese is hanging out on the griddle just to maintain warmth while I work on the chef grilled cheese. You can already see the like color change. It's beautiful. Cheese is a wonderful thing. And butter and bread, the whole thing. Gosh, there's just not many things that are better. I love the whole intimacy in the scene with the grilled cheese. It's something that's so simple, but it's broken down and it's really thought out and it's so intimate. He's making this grilled cheese for his son. The whole thing is just lovely. So I let the OG grilled cheese hang out a little too long. The one side that was on the plate is a little dark. It still looks really good, super crusty. But now I'm gonna transfer it to this metal rack. It's gonna let the grilled cheese cool down a little bit without making the bread soggy. If I was to transfer that grilled cheese like onto a plate or onto a sheet pan, the contact with the bread to the surface is gonna create condensation. So this is gonna keep the bread crisp. In the Roy Choi, the chef show, they talk about buttering the bread again. That's not something that I do because I feel like there's a lot of grease on this griddle, but Maybe there's a trick that I'm just not aware of. But also butter's delicious. Oh, wow, that's gorgeous. Starting to get a little crust here where the cheese was like in contact with the griddle. That is not something that would happen on the OG grilled cheese necessarily. So now I'm gonna turn the temperature down on the griddle. Ooh, okay. Maybe the extra butter did help out a little bit. I sort of put the extra butter in this spot around the bread where it wasn't getting this darker brown color, and it looks great. It's super crusty. The cheese is coming out, which is amazing. Okay, so I'm gonna move my griddle out of the way so I can transfer the grilled cheese to the cutting board so I can cut it in half, and we'll do a comparison. This looks bomb. I love everything about it. I don't know that I'm gonna go back to making OG grilled cheeses anymore. So I've just warmed up my other grilled cheese. I'm just gonna call it the other grilled cheese. Okay, so we'll do that one first. We're not necessarily gonna talk about a cheese pool in this moment, but we just are gonna look at the difference. That's a good looking grilled cheese, right? Oh, wow. That's epic as I don't even know what to do with that other than eat it. So we have our classic grilled cheese on white bread with American cheese. And it's so classic. It really does have a beautiful look to it. This would definitely be in a commercial alongside a bowl of tomato soup. They're probably gonna be selling the tomato soup, not the grilled cheese, but it's classic, gorgeous, I love it. Now this bad boy is just in another league of its own. It is like the king of grilled cheeses. The bread is so golden. The cheese is just like unbelievable the way it's like oozing out, and it's not just the front. Like I just need to flip this around so you can see the back too, because even the back to me is so yummy and delicious because it's like crispy around the edges of the bread and then gooey. It's just amazing. So obviously the chef grilled cheese, like in its natural state, did a beautiful cheese pull. And I think that's just the sheer amount of cheese in the sandwich creates that beautiful pull. So for instance, if I was to do a cheese pull on set with this grilled cheese, basically what I would do is have my grilled cheese bread pieces already toasted and halved like this, the way that I would cut the grilled cheese. And then you take your grilled cheese and put it back on your warm surface and just like leave it together until you're ready to make your cheese pool. And basically what that does is it allows the cheese to fill into that cavity where you've cut the bread. And so when you go to do your pool, you just pull it apart. Oh, look, there she is, vindicated. We're gonna make a couple more grilled cheeses anyway, just because we got all this cheese and we got all this bread and all this butter. If you have seen a movie about food or a food scene in a movie and it has given you a certain feeling, or you've seen it and now you're super passionate about it, comment below. Let us know what that movie is. Let us know what that food is, and if you think about it, and if you've made it at home for yourself, because that means somebody is doing their job right. Chefs and food makers alike all have to think about it from a consumer's perspective, and they did a really good job in the movie. Oh, it's hot as f. Look at it just, it just came on out, didn't it? That looks great. This is not the sourdough though. So it's not the like true chef sandwich, but I don't guess it really matters now, does it? Because this is the one that looks better. Now we're gonna go over to set. Okay, we have got the grilled cheese on our beauty set. It looks awesome. We replicated this scene exactly from the scene in the movie Chef. The propping is very minimal, but that's the way it should be. The focus is all about the food. Comment below and let me know what you thought about this episode, making the grilled cheese from the movie Chef. And make sure you're following Food Stylist Versus on YouTube, please, and thank you. So good, so greasy, so good.